Steve Dangle, Luke Fox, welcome to a segment that I have titled Hypothetical Questions That Will Likely Cause Hundreds of Arguments in the YouTube comment section. It's a working title. It is fairly long. I'm going to try to condense it, but I think it's accurate. We are going to discuss, and I'm going to ask you guys to compare this year's Maple Leafs lineup to last year's. It's hypothetical. Will anybody be right? We're not sure, but we're going to get some opinions. So I'll start with the forwards. We'll get to the juicy part, the defense on the back end. But when you look at the forward lineups that the Maple Leafs had last year versus what we expect when they roll out, where do you think they compare?
Well, I think, the star power is the star power. And one thing that I really noticed about the Leafs, it's easy to get lost in the haze of the season. But when I went back during the pause between the regular season and playoffs, the big four really performed. And it's easy to look at their contracts and be like, they should have given us more. I'm really not sure how Matthews could have given more. Marner was on a ridiculous pace despite an injury. Tavares was on a ridiculous pace despite an injury. William Nylander gave you over 30 goals in a shortened season. So it's going to be about the other guys in the lineup. Kapanen, is he a 20-goal guy anymore? I don't know. Is Johnsson a 20-goal guy anymore? I don't know. I think they got a different bit of what they need, which is a lot of toughness, and some leadership would certainly help in moments where they buckle. Dubas went out and got a lot of that.
And I can't wait for Leaf fans to freak out when Sidney Crosby makes Kapanen a 20-goal guy again.
Would anyone be shocked? Would anyone be shocked?
This is why it's called hypothetical questions, because we get the best hypothetical scenarios. That's perfect, because you're going to rile people up, Luke. They're going to be like, damn it, Luke Fox is right. And then it's going to end up like Kapanen's going to get 50 on Sid's wing. He's going to be unbelievable. And I love it, because, Steve, how much would that hurt you? Would it break your heart?
No, not at all. No.
Are you lying to me?
I mean, yeah, probably.
Yeah,
but
probably. Are you lying to yourself?
I always lie to myself, Sean.
Yeah,
that's all I do. I mean, the fact the Leafs got the 15th overall pick for Kasperi Kapanen still blows my mind. But I think, people are going to rant about it if Kapanen has success. But, I mean, if the Leafs forwards are as good as they've been advertised over the past few years, of course this is going to happen. And, of course, Kapanen would go on to have success, especially if he's going to play with Crosby. Of course, Johnsson, the same with the Devils. Of course, Connor Brown with Ottawa we saw last year. Obviously, this team's problem is not goal scoring, though. The problem has been elsewhere. Have they addressed that?
And Luke, another hypothetical. Let's say Kasperi Kapanen goes off and scores 40, scores 38, and he's a stud. And Leaf fans get mad that Steve is having a panic attack already. Does it really matter, though, when you look at the needs that they addressed and the way they wanted to change and they got what they needed? Should that be totally out of Leaf fans' mind and they should focus on the additions that they did make?
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. You can't worry about what a guy does with another team. Like Nazem Kadri was a fantastic second-line center in Colorado, but he wasn't going to get the second-line center job anymore. He was going to be the third-line center. The big thing for me when I look at the forwards is last year they never had the right mix on the third and fourth lines. They were tinkering with it, and it just wasn't coming together. They tried Alexander Kerfoot at center. He'd played center previously in his college days, but he wasn't a great center. And he felt out of sorts. Injuries and constant juggling. They never really got the right mix in the bottom six. So I think it would be kind of crazy to roll it back. And I like the fact that they mixed it up and brought in guys that are hungry. All these guys are on one-year deals. They got to either they're going for their last crack at a championship in Thornton and Spezza and maybe Simmons' case, or they're trying to establish themselves as, hey, I'm still a good NHL player like Jimmy Vesey.
Okay, so we'll get to the D in a very short order here, but I'll ask you guys very quickly, and I'll give you 15 to 30 seconds each. If you go over, you're in trouble. Steve, you're in trouble.
Yep.
Let's say hypothetically, we have the All-Canadian division here, and the Leafs are in one of the upper echelons. They make the playoffs. That's that. It's a hypothetical because that's what we're working on here. I'll give you 15 to 30 seconds to explain why you feel that this forward group is more suited for the playoffs or not as good as last year's team. And Luke, I'll start with you. You're on the clock. Go.
They're more battle-tested, hungry, and desperate. They have a little bit more heart, I'd say, and guys like Simmons and Thornton, and they have more leadership. So that's what I'll say. And I think they'll win more faceoffs with Joe Thornton than they did in the past.
19 seconds, well timed. Steve Dangle, I'm resetting the clock, and you are now good to go.
Well, what's been the number one criticism about the Toronto Maple Leafs outside of their defense? They're too easy to play against. Wayne Simmons, Joe Thornton, and a few guys who have been told they're soft for way too long. This Leafs group looks like a bad time for their opponent, which they haven't been in a number of years, and they're going to need to be to have playoff success. How'd I do?
23 seconds. That was very impressive. I've never done one of these with you where you've come in under the time allotment. So Father Life is treating you how to pay attention to deadlines. It is a good look for you. We're moving on. Defense. We know that the D got better. I don't think I have to ask you guys, did they improve their D? They went out and they made moves and they made additions. So why is it better?
Well, I'd say, sorry, Steve. I know you want to talk. I think that they may have found the right guy to play with Morgan Rielly. And for me, that's been a major, major issue. The best guy he's probably had to play with, and some Leaf fans may disagree, but was actually Ron Hainsey. And last year they tried Barry, tried to go like full tilt, 2 offensive guys, didn't really work. They tried CC, overpaid, didn't work. I think TJ Brody's, going to bring that veteran presence, more stay at home than Rielly is. And if he's flying and he's the 4th man in, I think that's going to be really critical to the top 4.
It was pathetic to watch every single night the opposition have the exact same plan and have it work. Put it in on the right side and dominate. And that's all it was. And, anyone chirping you, Luke, for saying Ron Hainsey was previously Rielly's best partner, Luke's right, everybody. Shut up. Who was better? Who? Cece? Barry? Zaitsev? Stop it. It's been brutal for this guy. And, people talk, oh, he's overrated. You watch. He's actually got a decent D partner now on the top pair. I think that changes the entire makeup of the Leafs because it's not just you can't look at it as one guy out of 6. You got to look at it as 22 minutes, something like that. He's going to eat up a lot of minutes for the Leafs.
That was awesome because you came out of the gate really slow and subdued, and I knew we'd get you yelling at some point. That wasn't Steve velocity, but we got you pretty close to it. So last question, a very specific one. You talked Brody, you talked Rielly, and the one name you guys haven't mentioned yet is Zach Bogosian. I watched him during the bubble, and he was very sturdy. He didn't even jump forward on 50-50 pucks. He would get right back in his zone and play the style that I think Leaf fans have wanted for so long. Some people say, you got to play him up high in the lineup. Other people say he'll be lucky to get in. He's way below the depth chart. He's an addition. Where do you guys stand? Is he going to be a huge piece, or is he going to be a guy that comes in and out of the lineup and doesn't play a ton, but is valuable at certain moments? What do you think?
I think he's going to be a fixture on the 3rd pairing. And in case of injury, you can slide him up to the 2nd pairing. That's my take on it. I think that he brings an element that their other defensemen don't have, and that he's nasty and will box people out in front of the net. The other thing is he kills penalties really well, and they've kind of needed that guy. That's why a guy like Martin Marincin got into lineup so often, is because, hey, he kills penalties. We need someone to kill penalties. And he's a natural right shot, which they don't have very many of.
This summer I've been referring to Martin Marincin as a buoy. If you've ever gone swimming in the lake or swimming in the ocean, there's a buoy there to let you know you've gone too far. And to me, if Martin Marincin gets in your lineup, no, you're in shark territory. It's going to be a problem. With Zach Bogosian, I was thinking about what a terrible time it sounds like to play against a pairing of Jake Muzzin and Zach Bogosian. Ooh. It's a lot of muscle. It's a lot of fist. It's a lot of beard. It just doesn't sound like fun. Now, here's another thing that could happen that I would love. So let's say Zach Bogosian plays there for a few games. All of a sudden, Justin Hall goes, well, wait a sec, that's my partner. I don't think I like that very much. What does this guy have that I don't? and he figures it out. I actually got to hit some guys. I got to hit people on occasion. And it's not just Simmons, Bogosian, Thornton. It's not just these guys making the team tougher. The team itself becomes tougher.
Yeah,
I would love that.
I always imagine myself playing the NHL. I don't know what person doesn't, but I immediately say I am no longer imagining myself doing that, because I would never want to come down on Zach Bogosian, Jake Muzzin, have Joe Thornton behind me hacking at my wrist, yelling at me. It's not really something that I think would be very fun for opposing teammates. And I think you're right. It's something that the Leafs haven't had. And then Simmons comes over the boards and runs you through it. And I think it's a different element. So I'll leave you with one final question. You only have one word to answer it. It's a yes or no. It's as simple as that. Are the Leafs better this year on paper than they were last year? Luke, you first.
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
There we go. Let the arguments in the YouTube comments commence. They said it. I didn't. Guys, thanks so much for joining me.